Sabi mo, kanina pinag-uusapan natin, we expect speeches, impassioned speeches, appeals to emotion. At mukhang nakita natin yon sa depensa.
And he did not fail us for that, no? And nakita natin how passionate the defense is on the issues. In fact, he was accused by the prosecutor of really not only appealing to the emotion, but his speech, and he should not testify on behalf of the former President Duterte. But going back to his main arguments here, he started by attacking on the victim's common representative here, especially on alleging that he is not a prosecutor and he cannot just say some things there without evidence, and these are irrelevant according to him, and that also that the statements, for example, on comprehensive attack, I mean on the single count or every single count, he answered that. And also, he went back to the media and the public confirmation aspects. No? And this has been an issue that is an argument by the defense. But the main points there are attacking the prosecution's evidence on being a hearsay, conjecture, contradictory statements, absolute lack of linkage, the lack of support, such as forensic records, and also the no substantial arguments were mentioned here. And also, as to the question on substantial grounds to believe and to proceed, na dapat daw we look into the concrete and tangible proof. You mentioned about this case of Said, no? And this is a case involving the Central African Republic. And in that particular case, I would suppose that during the confirmation decision, the decision was that there is a confirmation of the cases for crimes against humanity, saying that the judge here considered that there was a widespread attack against a civilian population, and it has met the contextual requirements. No? And after that, by presenting all this, he went back to the statements that they were deprived to tell openly to the public and to the followers of Duterte. Some redacted, their redactions are actually impeding them to proceed on presenting their own narrative or storyline. And here, we have also heard about the speech or the statements in relation to the case of President Duterte, and in fact he was saying that he was deprived of some sense of justice, and that's why he begs that this confirmation will not proceed.
Oo. At ang binanggit niya, medyo naging striking para sa akin to. Ang tanging naging kasalanan daw ni dating Pangulong Duterte ay ang kanyang paggamit ng inappropriate choice of language. Dahil nga nagamit sa kanya o ginagamit sa kanya ng prosecution yung mga parte ng kanyang mga speech kung saan sinabi niya ang kill, 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 kung saan ipinagmamalaki niya, ganun ang kanyang polisiya. May open threats or may open warnings to those involved in illegal drugs, and so forth and so on. So, yun daw ang naging problema niya. Pero again, hindi raw napatunayan, according to the defense, na may criminal intent at hindi naman nangahulugan na porket sinabi niya yon ay nagkaroon nga ng mga pagpatay on account of those words.
Yes, ang daming statements ng prosecution on the words, no, and the speeches, the videos, and all this. No, so this was expected also on the part of the defense to question on the words used by the former President Duterte. And if he went to actually looking at the evidence here and the elements of or requirements for the crimes against humanity. And we take note here that the threshold that we need is only substantial grounds. That we have to go beyond the speculations or conjectures, and we have to go to the possibility of going to the trial, and then there is enough evidence that is admissible.
Attorney, tanong ko lang sa inyo, bakit parang napaka-fixated nitong si Attorney Kaufman sa Philippine media? Mula nung day one, mula nung kanyang opening statement, hindi pwedeng hindi niya banggitin ng media, para bang na may tonong paninisi na ang media ay kasali rito, kaya nandito sa ganitong sitwasyon ng dating Pangulo, ay may papilang media rito. Ito naman, why does he feel compelled to respond to how media reported on his opening statement or on his arguments?
I'll take his word, and he said when there were redactions on the statements nila, they were not allowed to state their own narrative. So that's why, pero titingnan natin from the opening statements up to the closing statements that the media here is at the center. In fact, the reports are coming from the media, from the NGOs that were presented by the media also. So siguro on that end, no, makikita natin that the words of Duterte were all taken from this media reporting.
Okay. Dean, maraming salamat for sharing your expertise with us tonight. Nako, napakarami na para tayo nasa law school dito. Dean Rodel Taton, maraming salamat po sa inyong tulong na lubos nating maunawaan itong confirmation of charges hearing ng International Criminal Court. Dean,
Thank you very much, Ivan.
Thank
And
you
thank
very
you
much.
very much po sa inyo lahat.